Hello everyone, this is TapDeck, the app that allows you to play your PC games using mobile controls. And this is a very quick tutorial slash demo on how to use the app and get started and just an overview of what you can do in the app. So this is the home page right here. You can see TapDeck in the top left corner and the logo. Right next to that it says join Discord. If you click on that, you could join our community of mobile enthusiasts who want to use their mobile controls for PC games. And you can find friends, find games, share layouts, all this really cool stuff. And it's still very new. So if you get in, you can really make an impact and be one of the core founding people in the app. If you go over to the right, you can see the status. So right now it says connected. That's because I have it plugged into my computer and everything is set up. I'm going to have a tutorial on how to connect, but really it's very simple. But for those who need it, I will have that tutorial up on YouTube soon. And then if you go to the right of that, you'll see 629 taps. And that's kind of a random number, but that's just a global counter of how many taps I have used in the app since downloading. And my number looks low, but I constantly reset the app and all this other stuff. But you would want to get this number as high as possible because in the future we're going to have achievements, certain gifts, and really cool things for those who have a really high number. So probably the most important page on this entire app is, of course, the Play Now button and the Play page. So as you can see, that big green button and it says Play Now. If you just click on that, it takes you to your deck. And my deck is a little customized and kind of all over the place, but this is just one of the decks I've made. And as you can see, because it's connected, when I put my finger down, you can kind of barely see it, but you see that warping? That's my finger. And because it's connected, it's actually controlling my mouse right now. When I click, it taps. And when I do this, it right clicks. But if I just do this, it's moving my mouse. All right, if I click all these buttons, it's actually controlling my, it's like I'm tapping that on my keyboard. So with this, I can actually use it to game. But you may be asking, where is the joystick? If I just go on the left side, there it is. Just by clicking on the left side, it creates a floating joystick wherever I touch, and I can move that around. So this automatically does WASD, and as you can see, if I combine the two, this is a full controller, right? And you can play your games using a mobile style. But let's get out of here for just a moment. And you would do that by clicking on the TapDeck logo, this D over here. And then we're here. This is the edit page. This is where you can move and configure and change up your deck to however you want it to be. You could change a lot of really cool stuff, but I will say it is a little complicated. There is quite a bit going on here. So in order to really do a deep dive on this, I'm going to have a separate tutorial on how to actually use it, right? But just for you to know, this is the edit page. And if you click on the logo again, you go back to the home menu. And another way to get to the edit page or the deck page is by just clicking edit deck right here on the right. Just click on that and boom, we're back here. And remember, as I move things around, look at this E right here. Now it's here. I move it over here. Now it's here. Yeah, so that's how that works. But what if you want multiple decks for all the games you play, right? Maybe your Minecraft deck is different from your Apex deck, is different from your League of Legends deck, right? Well, you would just click on deck profiles. And this is where you can create all the deck profiles you could ever want, right? Just by clicking this plus, it creates a new one right there. And then it sorts it based off of how recent you last used it. So you can see 0 seconds ago, 23 seconds ago, 21 minutes ago. And you can also rename it. So I can name this Undermine, right? And yeah, that's how it works. You can see how many buttons is there, and you could just select whichever one you wanna activate, and then you can also delete the ones you don't wanna use. So just by clicking that right there and clicking delete. And now it's gone. But I have Undermine selected. If we go back here, we can see which currently active deck we're using. See this play now? If you go down, it says active deck and it says Undermine. So that's the active deck I'm using, right? But what if you want to test out your deck? What if you just want to see how it feels? Just at least the buttons. Well, you can go right here where it says calibrate. And this is just a little game within the app that allows you to test out your deck and, see how much you like it, see your reaction speed, see, make sure nothing's awkward, right? And you can check that out. I'm not going to play that right now. But yeah, there's that. That's the calibration screen. And then what if you really need to fine tune how it feels, right? What if you need to do that? Well, you go to settings. And settings is where some of the real magic happens, right? So you can change the audio settings here, the mouse sensitivity. So let's say you want to change how fast the mouse moves on up and down, but not horizontally. You can make it twice as fast, or you can make it half as slow, right? And you could change these independently, or you could change them together depending on what you need. All right, so I'm gonna reset it afterwards, but I'm gonna put it back at 100. Now here is response curve. Depending on how you play, you may want certain settings and different ways you want your mouse to move. Right now I have fixed speed, so when I move my mouse, it will correspond to a set amount on my computer. Very simple. But if I click speed acceleration, the distance it travels on my computer will be based partially on how fast I move. So instead of having to swipe my finger from all the way from the left side to the right side in order to do a 360, I can move a very small distance really fast. And it can do a 360 or 180 or whatever else like that. And that's for some really advanced gameplay. And there's also distance acceleration. So the farther you move, the faster it gets. And some people like that as well. But I like fixed speed or a relatively low speed acceleration. But let's just keep it on fixed speed. And there's also gyroscopic control. This app allows that as well. So let's say you want to tilt your deck. You want to tilt it in order to aim, right? You can use that here. And the gyroscope control also plugs into the response curve and mouse sensitivity, so it uses these calculations on top of it, right? You can also invert it if you need to, set it only to be vertical, or you can set it only to be horizontal. However you want to do it. It's all customizable. And then there's also deck gestures. So there's a bunch of gestures within the play screen, depending on what you want to turn on and off. Just so that you can play the way you want to play. And if you ever do something that you don't messed up somehow, just click reset, and it will reset everything the way it used to be. But let's go back and then go to my favorite page in the whole app, the Tap Store. This is where you really make your deck yours. This is the very basic deck. So simple, just a grid, joystick here, you can click. It's cool, but it's not the best. We can go over to this one, Deck Splash, a watery kind of deck, right? Just so you give your deck a little bit of personality, a little bit of fun. Go over here, the Deck Splash Dusk. This is one of my favorite decks. This one's so beautiful, right? You can click, it gives that really awesome animation right there. Moving around, Lava, kind of has Bowser vibes. Click that, move it around, awesome. Space, this is the one that I had activated. You can see currently active. This one's really nice. You can see the warping. This one's Sky. It's kind of like Space, but just a little bit different. Little stars in the background. Paint drops. This one's cool. Over here, Height Map. You can see a lot of effort has been put into these to make it look fun and cool. And then Pixel Party, just so that your deck looks like yours. And then if you ever want to buy something, click on the top right corner, purchase some coins, and then use those coins to buy the deck that you like. But let's just go back to the basic and then click play now. And just like that, you're ready to play. So thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I'm going to do a tutorial on exactly how to connect your iPad to your computer for TapDeck, and I'm going to have a tutorial on how to create a deck for your games. How to use this edit menu. What does everything mean? What is this slider? What is this thing right here? What is this option menu? Why does it change? All this other stuff. How to make it yours. So look out for those videos. But that's really it. So thank you all so much for watching. This is TapDeck, right? And I really hope you guys enjoy, and happy gaming.